Three of them, too. And I want you guys to write these down. 15 million. That is how many Americans or American jobs that Goldman Sachs says AI is going to displace. AI is going to get rid of. 15 million. That is 9% of this entire country's workforce. 15 million people got to find new work, new opportunities, or either start their own businesses. Let's go with the second number. The second number is 32%. That is how much SAP, their stock has fallen this year. And the third number, and this one is going to mess with you guys, 85%. That is the same Goldman economist, same interview, saying 85% of all job growth for the last 80 years came from tech creating brand new jobs, not destroying them. 15 million gone, 85% created, same man. And both are true at the same time. I want you guys to type 15 million in the chat. 15M. Put 15M in the chat if that is the first time that you've heard this. Put 15M in the chat if that number scared you. Type 32 in the chat if SAP stock drop shocked you as well. I see you guys in the chat. I see the chat moving right now. Good morning, everybody. Now, here's why I open on those three numbers. SAP did not just freeze traveling this week. Okay? SAP did not just slow down hiring. SAP showed you the new corporate playbook. When budgets get tight, people do not automatically get protected. AI gets protected first. Two numbers. Same Goldman guy. 15 million jobs gone. 85% of all job growth ever from new tech jobs. Both true at the same time. And SAP just showed you this week exactly how a company decides who is on which side of that math. So that is the thesis for today's show. And I want you guys to hold on to it. All right? I want you guys to hold on to it today. We're going to have a fantastic show. Let's start with the thesis. All right? We're going to go over to SAP. Many of you guys don't know who SAP is, but we'll talk a little bit about them. Let me go over to my screen share. Read what that says, guys. SAP restricts hiring travel to fund significant AI push. SAP is the biggest software company in Europe. It runs the back office for thousands of the world's biggest businesses. Finance, supply chain, HR systems, all of it. And Wednesday night, their executive board sent an email to staff. And guess what? Bloomberg got a hold of that email and confirmed it. 4 other outlets confirmed it as well. The Register, PYMNTS, Payments, Investing.com, Zero Hedge. Here's exactly what SAP told their own people. They said, quote, exclusively focus new hiring on selected profiles only, mainly core AI roles that are critical for our long-term success, end quote. That's what they said. I've been telling you guys for months, ever since January, you better get on this AI if you're planning on keeping a job. You better learn AI if you're planning on keeping a job. You better really start to use your current existing skills and make the pivot into AI. You have a significant amount of experience in your career. 20 years, some of you guys, 30 years, some of you guys, 15 years, 10 years. And if you use AI, you're going to be augmenting that experience. You can use that AI and create and solve, well, not create problems, but solve problems from things that are created, the challenges that you see every single day. That's your opportunity. Well, the businesses are telling you guys that right now, that you should have been using AI because they are exclusively focused their new hiring on selected profiles only, mainly core AI roles. They are focusing their recruiting, targeting who they're going to keep at the company to people who are AI native, to people who understand AI. And they say that is critical for their long-term success. That's what they said. And that's not me saying it. They are not saying no hiring. They are saying only AI hiring. That's what they're saying. They're not saying, nah, we ain't gonna hire nobody. No, they're saying we're gonna hire people who are getting in with this AI. I've been telling you guys. Internal travel, if it's not connected to the AI development, is paused. Completely paused. If you're not doing anything related to AI at the company, you're not going on travel. Got a customer visit? Yeah, you're going to be talking to a customer about the product? You can go. That's fine because you're going to be bringing in money. But you're going to be taking a trip here and there for whatever reason you're going to be doing. If it's not related to AI or sales or something like that, pause, you can't go. And they told the whole company they are going by supplier by supplier. looking for cuts. They're going supplier by supplier looking for cuts. Now, why is SAP doing this? Well, their stock is down 32% this year. And that is a lot of money for the biggest software company in Europe. So there's real investor pressure. And this week, SAP lost a bid. They lost a bid for a company called Cognite, industrial AI in a data firm. And Cognite went to Schneider Electric instead. What? How is that even possible? You're going to go to Schneider Electric. Isn't Schneider Electric more of a hardware side? He went over there for $3.1 billion, a cash deal, and SAP watched a competitor buy the thing that they wanted. So SAP CEO Christian Klein just took it personal, and he took personal control of all AI product development under a program called Project Fuji. He absorbed the job of a departing board member, Muhammad Alam. So instead of replacing him right away, their chief operating officer, Sebastian Steinhauser, now runs all of industrial AI. And this is the second full reorg SAP has done this year. In March, they built something called the Customer Value Group. In May, they built the Business AI Platform. And now this. I want you guys to type reorg in the chat if 3 reorgs in 1 year is major restructure. Type reorg in the chat if you guys think that is a major restructure going on inside of a company and a company trying to figure its way out. Trying to figure itself out. And here's the part that matters for most of you who's watching right now. SAP is not saying AI is bad for business. Listen to their own words. They said, quote, as AI reshapes the future of our industry, we are making significant investments in the products and AI capabilities that we build, complemented by strategic acquisitions in data and AI, by balancing where we invest and where we save. We ensure that SAP remains strong, competitive, and well-positioned for the long term. That is a whole bunch of corporate speak, basically saying this. We are going to be investing in AI for our near-term future and our long-term future. That's what we're going to be doing. And we're going to be investing in these capabilities. And we're going to be investing in the people. And we're going to be looking at our balance sheet. And if anything doesn't align with that strategy, it's not going to remain part of us. That's basically what they're saying. And that is not a villain quote. That is a company telling you exactly where the money is going. You got to look at the data. You got to read the data. You got to understand the data. And this is not a small, struggling company. Even down 32%, they're still crushing it. Analysts are still bullish. UBS has a price target of 205 euros. Bernstein has it at 276. So SAP just posted a 30% operating margin last quarter, highest in 13 years. Cloud revenue up 27%. They got a 10 billion euro buyback program running through the end of 2027. So they're making money, crushing it. And here's why this pressure is real right now. Bloomberg reported part of that 32% drop comes straight from competition. Fastest growing AI native companies like Anthropic eating into SAP's territory. For years, for many years, SAP has been safe. Many of you guys have used SAP. You used it, and they've been safe for many years. You don't touch SAP. You touch SAP, I'm telling you, if you're competing against them, more than likely, they're going to win a good 70% of the time. They just got the backing. And it takes forever. If you have a project that's competing with an SAP project, your project's going to get put on the shelf. How do I know this? Because I've been in sales. I competed against SAP. I've sold projects when they had SAP S/4HANA implementations going on. And guess what? My project got put on the shelf until that SAP project went live. SAP is a big deal. SAP has been safe for a long time. Slow company, but the enterprise choice for over 30 years. Now, nimble AI companies are moving faster than SAP can react. And that is the real reason behind the freeze, not just savings. It is about survival. And it's not just cost cutting. They are changing the whole product too. Back in May, at their big Sapphire conference, SAP unveiled something called the Autonomous Suite, rebuilding their entire cloud software, and they're doing it around AI agents. They are even changing how they charge for it, moving away from the old peer user pricing to something called AI units. You pay for what the AI actually does, not just a seat at the desk. So you pay for the outcomes. You pay for what it completes for you. And that is a big structural bet, not a small tweak. And the market reacted the same day. SAP shares in Frankfurt dropped about 2% on Thursday. on top of that 32% for the year. This is not a company in trouble. This is a company making a choice. So here's what I got to tell you guys. Do not follow the job titles. Follow the budget movement. And don't just take it from me, guys. I'm going to play a little video for you guys so you guys can hear something real quick. Check this out. Leaders of top AI companies divided on the job market by CNBC. See if I can go here real quick and share this too with you guys.
Artificial intelligence companies are split on whether AI will cost people their jobs. Anthropic co-founder Chris Olah says there is a real possibility that AI will displace human labor at a very large scale. But OpenAI Sam Altman is walking back some of his previous warnings, saying AI is, quote, unlikely to cause a jobs apocalypse. So where do things stand? Senior AI reporter at Axios, Madison Mills, is here to break it all down for us. Hi, Madison. Nice to see you again. So we're seeing some pretty stark differences coming out of some really big companies here. Meta just let go of thousands of employees after investing in AI. And then you have Uber's COO saying AI costs are getting harder to justify. So what do you think that all says about the actual impact AI is having on jobs?
Yeah, we're sort of at this messy middle for corporate America when it comes to AI. And it's really scary for workers when they hear these CEOs, especially in the AI space, coming out and saying that this technology, which they see closely every day, could replace thousands and thousands of jobs. But when I go and look at the earnings reports from companies that have just laid people off and said that it's in part due to AI, when I talk to employees who were just fired, it's a much muddier picture. And I think that that's important for employees to hear, because we're seeing this have an impact on wage growth. For example, we're seeing people not asking for raises because they're so scared that AI is going to replace their jobs, but we're not actually seeing huge evidence of that. Of course, there are some roles that are ripe for disruption when it comes to AI, but even something like software engineers, which many sources over the last few months have told me will be 100% replaced due to AI, those jobs by humans are up over the last 6 months.
That is analysts arguing about it in real time. Even they don't fully agree, which tells you guys everything, which tells you absolutely everything that you need to know.